Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Expected Buffalo, the podcast. We are brought to you by One Pie Pizza at onepiepizza.com, located at 2185 Clinton Street in Hiller in Comerford, hillercomerford.com, 1866 Hiller Law for your local personal and injury disability go-to. For those of you who'll be watching on YouTube and those of you who'll be listening on your regular podcast channels, I'm not alone tonight. He's back. He's back in. Anthony Sciandra is back with a couple games left to check in again. I couldn't be more excited to have you back.
Oh, buddy, it is good to be back. I'm glad I was able to carve out some time this week to jump on. For those of you who still follow me on Twitter, which I wouldn't blame you if you don't, um, you saw even at work events now, I'm trying to pay off a bartender to throw the game on the TV if it's not already, and it's usually met with warm reception. So
these days,
glad,
yes,
these days, right? But no, I'm really happy to be here, man. I'm happy to be back
talking
with you.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna get into, like I said before we started, I'm gonna hit you back on that kind of the feeling of kind of shutting it out for a little bit and then being pulled back in now, because I'm sure a lot of people are going through that. But before we get into that, I mean, you were graced with the opportunity to discuss a Colton Ellis legacy game. So a 5-0 win against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Colton Ellis finishes 2.95 goals saved above expected in HockeyStats.com's model. I mean, what is there really to say? Except I think the best way I kept thinking about this, and I'm curious your opinion, as I was going through the game, and this might seem like a smug thing to be for someone who follows a team that's just making the playoffs for the first time in 14 years. But this feels like a drought Sabres season ender for the Blue Jackets. Like, how did your season end? Oh, we got goalied by Colton Ellis for 45 minutes and then just fell apart. Dude, most Sabres drought thing ever.
That's such a great point. That's a perfect comparison. Where it is like you'd run into the buzzsaw that is, I don't know, James Reimer before he came here, just some some nonsense.
Alex Lyon on the Panthers stuffed you,
right. It's Elvis Merzlikins as a rookie. It's cool, no good, but no, but on the flip side of that, though, how cool was that to finally goalie a team to that extent with your backup this time, not
third stringer. Nonetheless,
third stringer. Yeah, it's not like UPL or Lions stood on their head. It was a guy who's never had an NHL shutout in a key game against a team that was kind of fighting for its life. So, credit to Ellis, and big time game. And I know we're going to talk about Lyon in a little bit here, but man, if that doesn't inspire at least a little confidence that the kid can get the job done, I mean, that was a heck of a game. High pressure situation, home ice in front of the fans. You're battling for first place. It's a big deal, and he showed up, man.
And by the way, you haven't started in months.
Mm-hmm.
The only game you got in months is a mop-up duty game against Washington.
What a great point, right? Yeah, it's not like he's been playing in the AHL or anything. He's just been hanging out on the couch. Yeah,
it's crazy.
Very cool.
Crazy. Good for him, man. Really good for him. I'm glad the team, I think recognized it as the game went on, and really late in that third period kind of bear down on it. So that's cool. It's kind of another sign of being kind of a different team, right? Kind of being built in together, and one of the reasons why they are where they're going right now. I mean, really, Ellis is definitely the story of this game, and he's the reason that the Sabres were able to pull away in the third period. But beyond that, I think there's a couple of things we could take away from this game before we get into specific players. Jack Quinn looks like the Jack Quinn of a couple of years ago before his injuries, the last maybe since the Olympic break. Josh Doan got going again. You mentioned Logan Stanley. I think looked pretty comfortable and good. He made that great pass across ice to, I think it was Quinn, Peyton Krebs. These are Krebs and Quinn. These are all guys we talked about when we were still doing podcasts last year, earlier this season, even when are they going to show and do something? And here they are, in April, making big plays for them, still having good seasons. Quinn, his 20th goal, over 50 points. Krebs, 1 point shy of 40. All wild and crazy things. It's a whirlwind, but also pretty cool to see unfold.
You know, it's so funny when we talked in the beginning of the year about how many different guys would need to cement themselves as secondary scoring pieces this year in order for Buffalo to be competitive. I mean, they all hit. Krebs
Yeah.
being a 40-point player is crazy. I mean, he's probably had the quietest glow up, I think, of any forward on the team this year, just becoming a very serious role player who he's not just your fourth line center anymore, man. That dude can contribute offensively
Hmm.
in ways that maybe not to the same extent you pictured when they traded, when they got him in the Eichel trade, but man, he's contributing in a big way. Like you just said, Jack Quinn. I mean, Jason Zucker, I mentioned it a few weeks ago on
Yeah.
Twitter. How many years during the drought did we talk about we just need some kind of, it doesn't have to be flashy, but a veteran guy who's going to consistently give you some box
Yeah.
score presence, right? And
Yeah.
he's been perfect for that. He's been perfect in every way. He's been a great locker room guy, older vet, hasn't slowed down too much with age. He's still putting in kind of dirty goals. I mean, he's their most clutch goal scorer right now.
7 game winning goals. I saw Megan Jacob post that.
I
7 game winning
mean,
goals. Yeah.
he's been out. He's their Drury this year a little bit, right? If we're doing an
Yeah.
05-06 comp,
Yep.
so it's a big deal, and it's throughout the roster. I can't point at a single forward who I'm just like, man, he's really struggled relative to expectation. I know Tay just had a little bit of a rough go
Yeah.
lately here, but I mean, overall, he's still your leading scorer. He's still your
Yep.
best offensive player. So. It's been great. And, you could say the same thing on the back end. You're getting scoring depth from guys like Samuelson, which is crazy. If I just said that at the beginning of the year,
I
Matthias
know.
Samuelson's going to get you, what is
I
he at,
know.
35 points right now? Like, come on,
Something like
man. No
that. Yeah.
way. But, and like you said, for as poorly as he started his tenure here, I feel like Stanley has definitely caught something of a stride. Like, he's not great, but
Yeah.
I think he's looked a lot better the last few games. I really do. As long as Luke Shen isn't attached to him, because boy, howdy, is that a bad
Yeah.
combo.
100%. Yeah. Well, right. Right. Yeah. Yes. And I don't think that's what it's going to be. It seems like, with 2 games left now, there's really not time to try much else. That your game one third pair is going to be Metza and Stanley, and we'll get into that here. It's one of our topics, so I don't want to go there. But let's kind of jump to now. I think we kind of covered the most we're going to pull out of this game, and maybe we'll wrap with where we're sitting from a standing standpoint, because that's pretty exciting too.
Mm-hmm.
But let's jump to the goalie thing you mentioned. So Alex Lyon being injured, he is going to miss at least a week. Ruff said he could, not be ready for the first game of the playoffs. Not ideal. Like you said, the good news is maybe Ellis showed you that he's okay in a break glass in case of emergency. But this, I think, solidifies for sure one, which I think it was whether he was injured or not. It's Luukkonen's crease in the playoffs to start. But instead of maybe having a short leash now, it might just be Luukkonen in game one, in the first round, no matter how it goes, unless maybe Lyon can get back in late in the series. But that was part of the conversation. Okay, Luukkonen in game one, is it a short leash? And now I think that conversation's kind of out the door.
I think if you're in a spot where Lyon comes back and you're thinking about making that switch late in the series, you're probably in a terrible spot anyway.
You're
If
down
you're
3-0 or 3-1, right? Like
right,
yeah.
if you're winning, you're not, even if he's not playing great, you're not going to move around goalies for no reason, right? You're just going to stick with what's working. So I do agree with you. I think it was Luukkonen's crease one way or the other, just with how he's played late. I think he and Lyon body of work on the year have been very comparable. With maybe even a slight edge to Lyon. But with how Luukkonen's played lately compared to how Lyon was playing leading up to the injury, yeah, I think it was Luukkonen's crease for now. And I hope it continues. I mean, he's played really, really well this down the stretch here. I mean, he's stolen them a couple games. So I think last night he stole him a game. Honestly, I know it ended up being 5-3, but there were 2
when they were handing pizzas out in the first period. Yeah.
It was like controller disconnected type of thing. They just passed it right up the middle. It was the craziest stuff. I mean, so credit to him. He kept them in that game that could have got out of hand fast last night. And it's just a testament to how well he's played this year. He had that, it was not last season, but the season before, obviously, a really good year. And then last year struggled again. I was back on the UPL hater wagon, but man, he's had a really nice year. I think he might be just outside the top 10 in goal save above expected this year. He's played really, really well. I think Lyon is like 7th in the league. So both goalies have outperformed expectations, and you hate to be down either of them. But to your point, I think that if you were going to make a switch to Lion anyway, at some point in the playoffs, you were probably in some trouble in that first round, regardless. So, guess we'll see.
Yeah, it's odd to talk about. I mean, we haven't really talked about this team being goaltending being a position of strength since the last time Luukkonen kind of went on this crazy run that he went on. What was it, 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So, it's been throughout this season. If you're somebody who follows those game charts I post every single day, like for almost a month now, they're second in the league as a team in goals saved above expected with their goaltending. So I mean, that alone just tells you. So second best goaltending tandem in the league, and who's the team they're behind? The Vezina winner Igor Shesterkin, or probably is who they're. I'm not Shesterkin. Sorokin, Ilya Sorokin.
I know you meant.
Is who they're sitting. Is who they're sitting behind. So,
mm-hmm.
That's good. I hope it continues. We always say goaltending never trusted, of course.
Can't do it. There's only one goalie in the entire league I actually trust.
I would say two.
Hellebuyck
and Sorokin are probably the two that you can right now consistently can hang on. But I mean, tonight's the perfect example, right? Let's throw the guy who hasn't played in a month in, and he's going to do backflips in the net and falling over, stopping pucks when he's not even looking, stuff like that.
Some ridiculous position, yeah.
Hockey, what a sport. I broke my own rule. Not rule. Okay. My own thing I said I was going to do. And I remembered as you were talking. So before we get into the rest of this, I do have to go to the thing I kind of teased in the beginning. Because I'm curious. Because for me, it's different. Because I'm just...
That's right.
I'm here. Like, I'm in it every game. For better or for worse. For good or bad mental health for me. From a good or bad sanity. I'm there. So you are a little bit different, right? I think a lot of people with this team have been there. You kind of... The way I put it to you before we started is you put him at arm's length a little bit. And it's not even like you're not doing podcasts, you're not doing the writing, because that's a whole different thing. That's not part of it. But I think just overall, you haven't been as in. But now, with where we're going, we're a week away from the playoffs. You're more active on social media. I know that you're paying attention to these games more. Like you said, you're out at work things, telling them to put the Sabres games on. So I think it'd be pretty cool for people to kind of hear just how that has unfolded for you here over the last, maybe couple months.
Yeah, I mean, on one hand, it's frustrating, right? Because as you know, I've covered this team in some capacity, whether it was old defunct websites or at Die by the Blade or at Expected Buffalo for 10 years, right? I mean, and last year, and it had nothing to do with their performance, but I had to slow down and step back a bit. And then this year, I've kind of slowed down all the way on this stuff, and I'm not gonna get into it crazy on the podcast, but better than anyone, that's more work driven than
absolutely
stink driven. But but yeah, and I think it was last year you and I talked, and it was like, gosh, maybe they had that 7-game losing streak, and it was like game 6 of it, and like I'm sitting in my den, and I'm like watching this like plodding game against the Islanders, and then I look to my left in the living room, and I see like my wife and kids. They are just having a riot, like laughing, like doing some coloring thing, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you know what? I'm like, I'm out for a while on this. Like that looks so much better to me 100%. Than whatever the hell I just watched. So, I stepped away big from them pretty much like halfway through last year. And it took a bit to win me back. Like I think it's probably right before the Olympic break, I kind of re-engaged. Like, these guys look serious, right? I think at that point they had like 60% odds at playoffs. They looked a little more serious. And so I dipped my toe back in at that point. But yeah, I think for a lot of people in our age bracket, maybe who, when the drought started, I was a sophomore in college, and through the drought, like, well, yeah, what better am I doing on a Wednesday night? Like, I'm just gonna sit and like watch the Sabres. Like, that's just what I'm gonna do. And as I as I've got a family and more responsibility. Gosh, so more than I think maybe I ever thought I'd have. Yeah, like the Sabres were a very easy sacrifice for me. Like, yeah, I don't have to watch them every night. Like, I still watch the games. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't like I missed all of October, November, December, January, and just
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah,
Josh
yeah.
Doan, who's that? Like, no, of course I was, but I think I was more passively watching. I think one of the things I've stopped doing largely is tweeting through games. Like even tonight, I think I tweeted once, and
Yeah, I've done that a
um,
lot too. I don't post a lot during games anymore. Yeah.
yeah, I think that's a big thing I've done just because I caught myself when I was pushing content, right? I think I caught myself engaging with people more than I was watching it at times. I was
100%.
like,
You're watching the game through your phone, basically. You're not even.
right,
You're
and I'm
not
just like, how
digesting.
can
Yeah.
how can I like in earnest, write about this team when I'm like half watching while arguing with somebody about the third pair of fucking right-handed defensemen? So it's kind of just like nonsense.
First curse
But
word.
yeah,
There it is.
oh
It took 15
man,
minutes, and he popped it out. I was wondering
it
how long it would take.
didn't take long, did it? That's embarrassing. But but no, but it was more of a like, yeah, what are these guys like giving me in return after all these years of committing like big chunks of my life to these
Yeah.
goofballs? So yeah, it definitely took some winning back, to get my what I'll call full attention back, which they have now because hey, the drought's over, it's done, it's cool. I'm going to game one. I'm very excited. Um, so yeah, I mean, but to your point, yeah, it took some work for them, especially and that's saying something. I think about like the quote unquote casual, I hate using this term, but like casual fan, right? Who wasn't covering the team religiously, who wasn't rabid on Twitter about them for the better part of a decade, who was just like a guy who would flip them on a weeknight. It's so interesting to think about that guy now who's now filling seats, who's now going to every game, who's re-engaged and
Yeah.
actually trying to relearn like who's Josh Stone. I remember his dad, just listening
Yeah.
to
Right.
guys at work, right? Who's they'll say stuff like, oh man, that Krebs, he's really come along, hasn't he? Because like they remember 19-year-old Peyton Krebs who was getting like a goal a year and wasn't really doing much. And so it's neat. I don't know, I think it's cool. I hear terrible opinions now that I never thought I'd hear, just like out loud in public because people actually care. Yeah, just like it plays like guy would come up to me at work because they still know like I covered it for a very long time, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll,
You're the
I'll
hockey
still have
guy.
people come up to me. I'm the hockey guy, right? And so come up and be like, "Man, they got to trade Power this offseason." And I'm just like nodding past, like, I had a guy say to me, he's like, "You know who it reminds me of?" I'm like, "This is gonna hurt my soul to hear what you have to say." He's like, "Remember Mike Wilson?" I'm like, "Vaguely, because I was like 7 when he played here, but I know he was not very good, and that's a crazy comp." But
Yeah.
do you remember? Do you even remember Mike Wilson? I remember he was big.
Not really. No.
He was on the
No.
'99
I
team, which
mean, the
again, I was
name,
7 years
yes.
old.
Him playing. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I was.
But
I
yeah,
think I was. At that point, I'd be 11. Yeah. So yeah.
yeah, right. So like, yeah, okay,
Yeah. I mean.
sure, Mike Wilson. But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, no, I know I went on kind of a tangent there, but it's cool. It's great to see the city kind of re-engage, seeing Sabre stuff like out there in earnest for the first time since I was a kid. I mean,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
that was like this. It reminds me of 05, 06 in the sense that it was kind of a re-solidification of a lot of people's fandom back then too, where you had
Mhm.
'99, they weren't so good in the early 2000s. Then you had the lockout, and then bam, out of the lockout,
Yeah.
gosh, in that stretch too. Remember the team was going to leave, and like people were really dejected on that front.
Hmm.
And so coming out of the lockout, it was Sabres mania, and like you're starting to see that a little bit. And the generation of younger kids now, you look in the stands, and there's all these little kids who are all hyped up, and it's so cool that this is going to be like their core memory team in the same way Drury, Kodalik, Briere, Hesh, like those were our core memory guys. They're
Yeah.
going to be feeling that way about Doan, McLeod, Krebs, Quinn. It's just so neat, man. You can't beat it. And like it's like that Moneyball line. How can you not be romantic about baseball? Like
Yeah.
how do you not be romantic about hockey? It's just so
Yeah.
that first playoff game at home at KBC is just gonna hit like crack, and I'm very excited.
Yeah. I mean, you hit a lot there, and for me, like being a
Mhm.
parent, it's different now. Where my son's at the age that he'll be 11 this year and next month actually, and he's getting into it now. Like he's not only getting into the sport, but he's getting into the team. So like he's into it now where like he has NHL 26 on PlayStations. Like he's into the game, and whenever the Sabres lose, he's determined to go to his PlayStation and flip it on and make sure he beats that team. He's determined to show him, teach him a lesson.
That's great.
But yeah, I mean, he's into it more. Last night it was funny. I was down here, working, getting ready, and writing about McLeod yesterday. So I was watching the game down here, and I forgot it was on upstairs, and he was still watching it. And he came like running down when the empty net goal, and like, Dad, they scored, they won. I'm like, yeah, forgot you were watching it up there. But yeah, I mean, for him, I took him to the Bruins game. I got tickets from you actually, which is awesome, great seats. I took him to that game, and I said to him, like, this is the first game since you've been coming to games with me that you're seeing what a full house is like, and it's the truth. It's the first sold out game he's been to where the vibe is like that, the team was like that. It's so into it, and I think being in that environment, I think seeing people around him really embrace it. It's cool. It's really, like you said, it's the 05-06 thing. It built the next generation of fandom, and maybe this team has the potential to do that same thing, build that next generation of fandom that, you were close to losing over 14 years as you weren't generating that next generation. And, maybe they turn things around just in time.
Yeah. My oldest got engaged in hockey for the first time probably ever watching the Olympics. And,
okay.
When I mentioned that one of the players was on the Sabres, I think I fielded like 50 consecutive questions on how they could be on Team USA and play for the Buffalo Sabres. And it's like trying to explain it, but it's cool because, that's her guy now. Like, she knows like that. Yeah. That's Team USA. He's a real guy. He's a real player. And, it is kind of tough because like, she's at the age where kind of like if she was going to get into hockey, that would have probably happened already. So very, very much a passive observer. And my youngest one is just like, this isn't Doc McStuffin, so I don't care. But we got a boy on the way, so I'm hoping he's.
That's
he's
right. Forgot about that. That's exciting. That's right.
It is
completely forgot about that. Pretty awesome. Happy for you.
Thanks, man. Yeah. So, but no, growing up and being kids during like the worst era of Sabres hockey and wondering like, Dad, why you never look happy watching these guys? It's like, yeah, I know. I don't know why I'm doing it.
Now you can tell your son when you're older when they're good, and you'd be like, I had to deal with 14 years of
and then I get to do the same thing when we flip on the Bills and say I had to deal with 17 years. Great, Dad. Sounds like the worst.
Good times. All right. Well, that was good. I got out of that what I wanted. So let's flip back into the team here. Okay. Defenseman, defense rotation, particularly the third pair. That has really been the hot topic for essentially since the trade deadline, right? So Kesselring finally got a game last game. 10 minutes. I think that's kind of the sign that the trust just isn't there. Timmins got in, didn't look good again. So I think that kind of crosses him off. Schenn is the role that he's in. And then I think you're left, like I said, you're left with Stanley and Metsä. Am I wrong here? That seems obvious.
No, I think that's your third pair. I don't necessarily understand why the coaching staff, like it's every coaching staff has like that guy that
a guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. I don't really get it with Kesselring. I think he's been perfectly fine. From what I've seen, I don't have any beef with him. I think he's very comparable to both Stanley and Metsä in terms of like how effective they are when on the ice. But yeah, to your point, I mean, it seems like they definitely have some trust in that Stanley Metsä pair, and honestly, you can justify it in the numbers. Looking at their underlyings, like they're not a bad pairing. It's when you get Stanley and Schenn together that is just a tire fire of epic proportions. Like those guys never belong on the ice together in any capacity. I can't believe when the Sabres saw like the numbers from Winnipeg and we're like, yeah, let's do that a couple times just to see. And it's like, no, it's still bad. It was always going to be. Schenn is so cooked, and it's so funny. I was digging through the old like drought memes today, and I just posted like trauma dumped a bunch of them just on
Yeah,
Twitter.
I
Like,
saw that. That was awesome. I saw that.
they
That
were
was
they
pretty
were
good.
completely out of context, and there were some Luke Shen ones that I made like after our podcast 3 years ago.
Yeah.
When instead of Riley Stillman, I was like, why not have
Yeah.
traded just a second for Luke Shen? Like,
The
why
great
Riley
Luke Shen
Stillman?
debate. Yep. Yeah.
It was a great debate. I
Yeah.
still maintain at the time I was correct, but he stinks. He stinks now. He's terrible. You know, we're talking
Yeah.
33-year-old Luke Shen versus
Yep.
36-year-old, and he's tanked since then pretty hard. But it is funny that he's on the team now for their playoff push, just for the meme value alone.
Yeah,
It's just great.
It's full circle. That's what they needed all along. Is they needed Luke Shen to get over the top, and we didn't know it 3 years ago, but now we see it now. Yep.
The vibe is complete now. Now we can finally move forward.
But honestly, like on the vibe, really quick with Luke Shen. To like seriously though, he's played 2 games, and did you notice like in both of those games, or maybe he's played 3 or 4 games, but whatever. In 2 of those games, they've given him that like after the game belt. Like I think that alone tells you like how impactful he is off the ice.
Agreed, completely. Yeah, he's like a team dad. You know, it's funny. I after Craig Anderson and Oposo left, I'm like, I don't think there's ever going to be a Sabre on the team older than me ever again, which is like a weird thing to think about. And then they trade for Luke Shen. I'm like, we're back, baby.
You're
like,
back in.
Yeah, we got one guy older than me now. But yeah, clearly he's had some sort of impact, which, you know, it's that intangible factor. You just can't know, but he can have that impact from the press box, I hope, because that's
I think so. The good news is I think they realize that, so that's good
for sure. Yeah, I mean he's rotational. He's a, you know, like Ellis break glass in case of emergency. Like, oh no, we had 2 defensemen go down.
Yeah, if you get to Luke Shen in playoff games, and same thing with, you know, going to Colton Ellis or whatever, you're in bad way. You're in trouble.
Tough shape.
You have a lot of injuries, or you're way down. You're just trying things.
I'll tell you what, though. I'll say this. I mean, you thinking about 05-06 when you were down to Jeff Gilson, Doug Janik, you know, Nathan Pache playing his first NHL game in a Game 7. I think I'd rather have Luke Shen in that situation.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And Michael Kesserling. Your defensive depth is so much better. Just across the board. It's not.
You get real NHL players. You'd have to go pretty far down to like get to a not real NHL player, basically.
Yeah, I mean, even then, call up Murtka. Like, you know, have some fun with it at that point.
Yeah, if you're down to that level, then go nuts, right? If you got to play, if you're down to, I'm so injured, I got to play Roddy Murtka in Game 4, then just go crazy at that point.
Hey, have fun. Yeah, here you go, kid. Here's some experience for you.
That'd be funny. I hope we don't.
I don't know if funny's the word, but
I mean, it'd be funny. It'd be funny in like you make all these trades of all these defensemen, you still get down to Roddy. Like it's, you know, it's coming.
It would be. It would be pretty comical.
Yeah. Well, let's hope we don't get there. Knock on wood, because I don't want to deal with that. All right. So I think we're on the same page with the defense. So here's my big problem going into the playoffs, and it continues to be a problem. One unit was better today, but the special teams. So it was yesterday when I did it, and now it's going to look better today because they held the goose egg to the Jackets on their penalty kill. But their penalty kill over the last 7 games was rolling at 72%. Their power play was rolling at 12%, which is going to get worse after not scoring again tonight. But really, you know, we talk about your third pair, your goaltending, and this and that could cost in the playoffs. Man, if your special teams isn't on, like, you're in trouble. Especially like a team like Montreal, who really thrives on the power play when you meet them, or even Tampa Bay has a good power play. They have a good penalty kill. You know, you don't have it. Like, they played one of the worst going penalty kills right now tonight. Mm-hmm. If you listen on the broadcast, Dave, I think they've killed off 7 of the last 15 coming into the game.
Oof.
They're 28th in the league, and the Sabres just couldn't even get anything on the power play going. Mm-hmm. So really, I think that's the people will start, that the power play, the penalty kill, I think can be corrected, and, you know, there's ups and downs. Maybe just in a lull, but the power play, man, like there's just no answer there.
Yeah, I don't think it's unfair to say I'm more worried about the power play than the PK. I think the PK has had success at certain points this year, and I don't systemically, I don't see it as being as big of a problem. I don't think they run like a bad penalty kill. I'd like it to be more aggressive. I'd like them
Yeah.
to have a little bit more of a power kill where I think when they've done it, it's worked nicely for them.
Yeah.
But
McLeod does take those chances, but he's like, yeah, one of the only.
he does, right? But I also think their shorthanded goal conversion rate is very impressive. So I think the
Yeah.
PK is not a thing I'm worried about too much. I don't. I mean, we've been talking about this, Chad, what, for 6 years now.
Yeah.
The power play is not going to fix itself before the playoffs. So like that, they're going into the playoffs with that as like a serious Achilles heel that is not showing any signs of getting better. I mean, maybe you get hot and just start converting shots at a high rate, but like
Yeah.
organizationally, it's not going to improve. Like they're not just going to come up with like a brand new philosophy here. Once you hit mid-April, like it's a problem. It's their biggest weakness as a team, and I don't think it's a stretch to call it that.
Yeah. It's you know, coming out of the Olympic break, I think they were trying some different things, and it looked a little bit better. Now the conversion rate maybe wasn't there, although I think for a stretch it felt like they were scoring a power play every game, even though you're wanting to rip your eyeballs out and like this is terrible, but somehow they're always scoring a goal every game. For maybe it was like a 5 or 6 game stretch there, but it's kind of gone back to not much rotation, a lot of outside forcing things, one man plays. It drives me nuts. They don't utilize going down low. It feels like whenever they score a power play goal, it is off a down low at the goal line below the net play, and they just don't go to it. The second unit does, which almost brings me to the point half these games where I'm like, just play the second unit because at least they move and move the puck around and try those down low plays. Even today, their best chance in the power play came from the second unit. When it got down from, I think it was McLeod, got it to Benson, who got it to Doan quickly, and Greaves just made a nice save. I think it was in the first period. That was their best power play opportunity of the night. And, so like this top unit, like you can't really go away from it because of the guys that are on there. Quinn is hot, but he can't find it there. Norris is an assist king all of a sudden, but can't do it on the power play. Tage is Tage, and then Darlene can't do it. And, Zucker's your around the net guy. So,
the problem that you have is that the whole thing is predicated on trying to get Tage a shot.
Yeah.
Like they're just trying to get it to Tage to fire a clap bomb. And like, I'm sorry, that can't be your one move. That worked for you for like 6 weeks in the beginning of the 2019 season with Olofsson. Like nobody's falling for that shit, man.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just give it to your guy and it's like, he's not Ovechkin. Like he doesn't have that ability to convert at a crazy rate. I mean, what was it, 3 or 4 games ago where he ripped off like 5 shots in a row?
5 or 6 in a row, a couple of weeks ago. Yeah.
And like none of them were dangerous. Like he is one of the hardest shooters in the league. And like not one of those shots was like, oh man, that had some danger. No, right into the goalie. Like the goalie knew it was coming. It was so obvious. Predictability has been my biggest beef with their power play for years. And it remains the case. You saw Zibanejad last night almost capitalize on, I know every team does the drop back pass. No, they don't. But a lot of teams do it. So it feels comfortable to say every team does it. They do it so obnoxiously and slowly and over such a wide swath of the ice. You saw Zibanejad just like pick it off yesterday with like incredible ease because it is so damn predictable. Like and then I watched the subsequent Rangers power play and they entered the zone 3 consecutive times, did not drop back once, and like they entered with control. So like it is doable. You don't have to do this nonsense. But from top to bottom, from how they entered the zone to how they set up the shot, that top power play unit is so painfully predictable and is so darn easy for teams to force the issue or just basically close up the slot.
That's what they do. Everybody is so aggressive against them because they know I've been saying it all year. Every team plays them so aggressive on the puck here because they know they don't have you make them panic, they're going to give it up because they don't have a plan. You should be able to burn team, boom, 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 pass behind them, and I have a great chance. They can't do it. They panic, they force a shot, they force a pass, they just stand there and lose it. There's never a solution or an answer.
No, it's it's embarrassing, and it remains their biggest problem. And every offseason, we say it's got to be their number one priority going into the offseason, but it is you got to find someone to run that power play. Find Bob Woods wherever he is and like get him back. Whatever, I think it was the last time you had a respectable power play unit. But yeah, going into the playoffs, it is definitely my biggest concern that they are just not going to be able to convert on the man advantage. And if that's the case, you better hope your PK figures it out, which I think it has a propensity to do so. But otherwise, you're losing special teams battles routinely, and you can't have that. Can't win a series that way.
Yeah. And you'd have to be a monster at 5-on-5, and just with how tight the games are at that point, that's a tough ask.
It's a big
ask to win every single night at 5-on-5.
Yeah, agreed.
Special team stresses you out. Okay, where are we at here? We're 35 minutes in, so I think it's a good time to transition to a conversation that I think will take a couple of minutes here to go through. The standings of where we sit and what that means. I thought I had the standings up here. I don't, so I'm going to pull them up. So essentially what happens tonight is the only games of real value for the Sabres is the Sabres game. They win, and then Tampa Bay loses to Montreal in regulation. So what does that mean? It means that the Sabres now stand alone with 106 points atop of the Atlantic Division. They have 2 games left. The Canadiens have 3 games left. The Lightning have 3 games left. The Sabres have 41 regulation wins. Montreal has 33, so the Sabres have clinched the tiebreaker on Montreal. And Tampa Bay has 39. So with the Lightning still having 3 games left, it is possible that they can catch the Sabres in regulation wins, and the 2 teams are now tied at regulation and overtime wins. So that's your tiebreaker breakdown. So as a result, your magic numbers get to Tampa Bay can max out at 108 points. So the Sabres still technically based on the tiebreaker, but that could change in a day. We'll just put it this way. They need either 2 points lost by Tampa Bay or 2 or 3 points, basically. Lost by Tampa Bay or gained by the Sabres to clinch a top 2 seed. Since they have the tiebreaker over Montreal, Montreal can max out at 110 points at this time. So the Sabres would need 4 more points, so basically win their next 2 games, to get to 110 points. Now, what I told Anthony before we started, I think Montreal plays on, I think both of these teams play on Saturday, I want to say.
Yeah, nobody plays tomorrow. Not a single game in the league tomorrow.
Yeah, so both teams play on Saturday. Let's see who they're playing. Quickly pull it up.
Montreal has like the Islanders or someone pushing for a playoff spot. I forget who it is.
So Tampa Bay goes to Boston at 12:30 on ABC. So that's relevant. And then Montreal is the Blue Jackets go to Montreal.
Blue Jackets, that's right.
So really for Columbus, they might be dead after tonight, but if they lose, I think they're officially out in that game.
Yeah,
they'll be pushing hard. If Tampa Bay and Montreal both lose in regulation on Saturday, the Sabres have the possibility to clinch the division, if my math is right, actually Montreal also plays on Sunday, so that's interesting. They put the Islanders on Sunday, so you were close. So Montreal plays Saturday, Sunday. But anyways, what I'm getting to is in Chicago, if things go their way this weekend, the Sabres are looking at an opportunity to clinch the division on Monday in Chicago.
That's right.
Pretty nuts.
Amazing.
I mean, even if Tampa Bay wins on Saturday, they play Detroit goes to Tampa Bay on Monday. So if Tampa Bay loses that game on Monday and Buffalo wins on Monday too, then they would also clinch. So Monday could be your clinch day.
Could be. Yeah, it's so funny. And if you're going to get to this, stop me. Who would you rather play in the first round of those 3 teams? So you're basically all but guaranteed to get one of Montreal, Tampa Bay, Boston.
Yep, unless Ottawa catches Boston, which I still think
tough.
It's a 4-point gap with 3 games left. That's a lot to make up. Yeah. A lot to make up. So let's just say, Boston, Montreal, Tampa Bay. I think for me, and you'll probably agree, but we'll see. Actually, Ottawa. I forgot Ottawa won today. Ottawa's actually 2 points back with 3 games left. So maybe not so fast, my friend, kind of thing there. Anyways, let's stick to those 3 teams. I think that I would take Boston for sure. Now, Boston is scary in the sense that they have Swayman and they have Pasternak. Beyond that, Connor Geekie hasn't scored in, I don't know, like 4 weeks, something like that. I know he has that potential, but I'm just not afraid of that team besides those two players, and I think I can handle it.
I agree with you. So Boston is definitely the team I would want, but I will say they they have aspects of their strategy that frighten me a little bit in the sense that they're they're not known for this, but they can be a shit clogger team, man. Like they can bind up the middle and like
Yeah.
be tough on a transition team like Buffalo. But I
Veteran
think
experience, right? That's
veteran experience. But I think you saw it in the game they played against Boston. What not a week or two ago,
yep.
where the Sabres looked pretty poor. So I don't think Boston would be an easy out, but I do think they'd be my choice. I'm gonna tell you right now, though, I want Tampa more than I want Montreal by like a lot. I think
Really?
Montreal's the scariest team, right? Yeah, I think they scare me way more than Tampa.
I think
They're
Tampa
so
when
hot
they
right
when they
now.
get all their big dogs back and they're healthy and they know what they're
But
doing,
when is that going to be? Is that going to be in time for the first round?
seems like it. Seems
Yeah.
like it.
Okay.
Hagel is skating. Sorelli was skating, I think, today.
Mm,
I think today's loss really for Tampa Bay is they throw the white flag up and they say whatever. We're just
mm.
gonna go get healthy. I could definitely see that. I could see them pulling some guys and we're just
We're
we're
fine
just
with
trying to get
her.
healthy
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
Mm.
Um
Well, maybe, but yeah, I don't know. Montreal right now, they're so hot. Their goalies are
they
playing
are
so well.
yeah, I
Like
know.
both their goalies are just having a ridiculous season. I think if the Sabres are second, I bet you Montreal's third in team goal save above expected. Both their goalies have had incredible seasons.
Yeah, I'd have to look. I know Dobish has really been hot lately, and
Hmm.
he's the guy they're leaning on. But at
Right.
the same time, like playoff hockey in Montreal, it's different. Does it get to
Hmm.
you know what I mean? But you could flip it around and say the same thing about Lukanen, right? Like
Right. Oh my
it's
God.
the
Yeah.
same. It's the same kind of thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just think that Montreal is a team that maybe defensively you can get them a little bit more.
Okay.
Um, but I agree. There's some fear and they can skate with you. We just talked about special teams or power play is dangerous. They have guys that can score and put the puck in the net. So yeah, that all makes sense and jives. I think you might have to catch me on the day to
Mm.
determine if I wanted to go between Tampa Bay or Montreal. I can tell you right now, the one team that I want absolutely no part of, and it's not that I don't think the Sabres can beat them. It's that I did not miss the playoffs for 14 years to go against a team that's going to play pig shutdown hockey
Ottawa.
against me with Ottawa. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I just
It's like playing the what 2015 Islanders. Like, no, thank
right.
you. Yeah,
But they can
they're
score
such,
better is the problem.
they can score better, right?
Right.
Right. But they got terrible. Well, I'm not gonna say terrible, very inconsistent goaltending. But yeah, man. I mean, what them and Carolina are the two teams that can just like suffocate you in the East. And
They can go beat each other up. Like those two can
right,
just
let
go.
them. How
Yeah.
great would that be? Just get one of them out of there
Yeah.
right out of the jump, just by association. Like, great.
Yeah.
See ya. Yeah, that is my ideal series is Carolina Ottawa. I won't watch a damn second of it, but it'll just mean that one of them is gone.
Yeah. And then if you get Montreal, Tampa Bay, one of them are out of your way. Like, yeah.
The series that will irritate me to my core is Philly Pittsburgh because like how dare you tell me one of those teams has to advance because the Sabres are so much better than both of them. Nonsense. What a stupid format. Because like in a regular format, I think I looked at it like the regular 1v8 that it always was. The Sabres will be playing Pittsburgh in the first round.
Philadelphia actually.
Philly now? Okay, so as of
Pittsburgh has 98. Pittsburgh has 98 points. Philly has 92.
Okay,
Philly has
so
less points than Ottawa. Who was
maybe before last night then, before the Sabres beat the Rangers, it was Pittsburgh. When we were second, right? So regardless.
Okay, that makes sense. Second, yes. Yeah.
So like bite me. That was like, are you kidding me? I'd much rather be playing Philly than one of Tampa, Montreal, or Boston. Are you joking?
Or
now
Ottawa,
I know what now I know what Toronto fans were squeaking about for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
But stupid format, man. Anyway, yeah. And Anaheim's gonna, they're gonna walk out of the Pacific because why not? So dumb.
It's funny. I was thinking Columbus is sort of that, and they kind of are in the wild card, but they're still only two back of Philly in the Metro.
I know.
The Islanders are only a point back.
The Islanders could do it. I actually, I don't know, man. Philly's just They're Sabres asking like where the hell did they come from? Like they were
Yeah.
not supposed to be even a little bit decent this year.
Yeah.
I mean Pittsburgh too. They've way overperformed.
I mean, Philly got smoked tonight, but didn't they by the
Did
who
they?
did they play?
I'm not even sure.
I'm looking right now, but I think they were losing big last time I looked. Let's see. Detroit beat them 6-3.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean that gave Columbus life. So again, that's big going into the weekend though, because you need Columbus playing with extreme desperation going to Montreal. And boy, for what we just laid out, do we need Boston to beat Tampa Bay at home?
Yeah.
In the worst way. It's funny, when I broke down the schedules maybe a week or two ago, Montreal, Tampa Bay, what each team had left, I didn't realize that, like, Tampa Bay has to do a road gauntlet of the Atlantic.
Yeah.
They had to go Ottawa.
They had a tough finish.
I'm sorry. They had to go Ottawa, Montreal tonight, in Boston, and in Detroit before going back home.
Yeah.
It's a tough run. And
I
if
think
you can see it,
the three of us, they had the toughest schedule to finish. I mean, Montreal's isn't easy either. You got Columbus and New York, two teams that are
battling. Yep. And you're getting them on back-to-back nights, too.
Back-to-back nights, yeah. They're kind of in a brass knuckles fight for that last spot in the Metro.
Yep.
Yeah, no, they've got it tough. The Sabres get a little reprieve with Chicago, and then honestly,
I think even
Dallas going to be going. They've got that second seed.
No, it's not locked. It's not locked.
It's not locked. No, I just pulled up the standings. They lost a lot of ground there. My goodness.
Yeah, it's a 2-point right now.
Oh my gosh, they're 3-5-2 in their last 10, and Minnesota 7-3. That would explain why. Yeah, they had a lot of ground that they've forfeited there. Wow.
I mean, I guess it'll tell you if it's close how much they care about it.
Right.
Do they have? Let's see. What are the tiebreaker looking at? Well, they clinched the tiebreaker, so they have the tiebreaker on Minnesota.
Okay.
So really, they only got to win 2 more games? Are they playing right now?
They each have 4 left, so no, they got to win. They got to win.
If they have tiebreaker, they got to win.
Yeah. 3 actually. If
you're right. Yeah.
Wins out. Yeah. Whew.
Yep. Oh my God! I didn't even realize this. Minnesota and Dallas are playing tonight.
Oh, what a great game that'll be.
3-3.
Yeah.
Right now.
Oh, it's 3-3 right now.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Didn't even realize that. Well, that's an important game.
That's an important game.
2:20 in the second, so I guess I know what I'll be flipping on as soon as we're done here.
Then you got. I love LA, dude. I love LA. That they have lost 19 overtime games this year, and they are somehow very much alive in the wild card race.
Didn't they have like an NHL record? They set like 25 or 26 games. They went to overtime or something like that.
They are 32-45 on the year, and they're like in the driver's seat for the 8th seed.
Talk about because they have a game. they have a
game in hand. Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, on points percentage, they are ahead of.
They control their own destiny.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Even Winnipeg out of nowhere.
They could catch Anaheim. It's nuts.
I mean 5, but yeah.
It'd be tough, but they could do it. Yeah, no, it's not 5. 4 points.
Oh, you're talking about LA? Yeah, LA. I said Winnipeg. Yeah, LA. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they have a game in hand.
A game in hand. Yeah.
They could do it. They could do it. Yeah, it's crazy.
I feel bad San Jose dropped out, but you kind of felt that was coming.
Same, but you knew.
That would have been cool to see Celebrini in there. Yeah,
I agreed.
He's fun to watch.
He's
all right.
Riot, man.
48 minutes. Got you back in. It was fun, man. It was good to get you back.
It was good.
Good to see you back again.
Interact with people. Saber?
You know what? I was gonna get it to going and getting it ready, but then you have one. Oh,
I have
you
one.
came prepared.
Of course I did. Are you kidding
look at
me?
this. Okay, all right.
Well, it's got to be a drought guy. So
it's got to be a drought guy.
It's got to be a drought guy. You let me know when you're ready.
It's 15, right? Was what we did.
I believe it was 15. Yes.
15 questions, drought guy. Okay, I'm rusty in this, so I got to remember like the ways to narrow down your window.
Right.
Okay, so the guy within the last 14 years got to be a drought guy. Okay, so is it a forward or a defenseman?
It is a defenseman.
It's a defenseman. It's a drought guy. I got to pull up my things here. Did this player play with Jack Eichel?
Play with Jack Eichel. Stand by.
Okay.
Yeah, hang on.
Eichel played with the Sabres
I
from
don't know why my
15
brain
from
is
15
farting.
to 21. 15 to 21.
Then yes, he played with Jack Eichel.
It's okay. So that's my window. He's in that 15 to 21 range. Okay, that's my second question. So 15 to 21. He's a defenseman. Oh God. What's the next question? I want to go to narrow. Was Dan Bilesma his head coach?
No.
Okay, so that takes off 15, 16, and 16, 17. So now I'm 17 to 21. Okay. Was Bill Housley his head coach?
When did Housley coach? Hang on.
17, 18, 18, 19, right?
Then no.
So I'm in now I'm in 19 to 21. I had to return my questions. I have 2 more questions. So I'm at 4. Okay. I'm in 19 to 21. Okay, I gotta pull up the roster here. Let's go to hockey reference. This is I'm definitely rusty. I forgot all my questions. That would usually narrow it down quick.
You used to ask a lot about nationalities.
Yes, that I'll get there in a minute when I get to the team. That'll definitely come. So let's go with the 20. Let's go with the 2020. Start there. It's a defenseman. All right. Is he North American?
He is North American.
So U.S. or Canadian? For those that don't know at all. So he's a U.S. or a Canadian player. Defenseman. Okay. So trying to think of guys who weren't like. Is this player still in the league?
No.
They're not still in the league. I thought that I was doing well, and I don't think that I am.
I mean, you've got it narrowed down pretty good.
I do. I think.
So what do you have? I think you have 8 questions left.
I think I'm keying in on a guy.
Okay.
Yeah, I've done 6. So yeah.
Oh, okay. So you have 9 left.
Why is my computer being so slow? I have 9 left. Yeah. Did this player play for the Minnesota Wild at one point?
I don't think so, but I will double check. No.
It's not who I think. No, it's. I was keying in on Scandella, but no, he was in Buffalo longer before that. Okay. I'm trying to figure out how deep are you going on me a little bit. Let's check my 2021 team. I pretty much narrowed it to 3 years. Thinking I feel like you're pulling like Eric Bergdorfer on me or something here. I don't know if he even played in those
I think
years.
he was 24. No, he was like 2014. He was way before that. I think he was pre-Eichel.
Yeah. Canadian-born player. Oh, I think I might have somebody. This would be good. This would be a good poll. This is the guy. Did this player play for the Nashville Predators?
He never played for the Predators.
Damn it. I was at Matt Irwin.
Matt Irwin. Nope.
Okay, back to the drawing board.
So you got what?
7, all right, let me ask this question. Did he have a... I have 7. On the Sabres, did he have a single or a double-digit number?
He had a double-digit number.
double-digit number on the Sabres. Okay, so it's a defenseman, the double-digit number, North American, not in the league anymore. It's important. Oh God, I have to go backwards, I think. All right, it's not this season. That's too close. Let me go back 2 years. What am I? 1, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I'm 8, and I'm not even close. I'm flailing in the water here.
You started really well.
Okay, double digit. Was he a draft pick of the Sabres?
Nope.
Did this player? You said never played for Nashville, right?
Never played for Nashville.
I was at Matt Tennyson because you mentioned him earlier.
Nope, not him.
So that's where I was gonna go. I was like, oh, he mentioned him. It's in his head. That's the guy.
Mm-hmm.
What did I say? I narrowed it to 19 to 21, right? Because it wasn't a Housley guy.
That's right.
D. Let's be the guy. Trying to, my computer's moving very slow, making this difficult for me and not good podcast radio. Did this player play for the New York Rangers?
I think so. This player never played for the Rangers. I'm sorry, I was wrong. No.
Come on. I thought I had it at John Gilmore.
Oh man, great pull. Nope.
That's why I said if you pulled him, you're an asshole.
Oh yeah.
I'm at 10. I'm in a world of trouble. I got to get out of this. This slow computer is not helping me, slowing me down. Oh boy, I might have to go to my phone. I might move faster. Defenseman, North American,
double-digit numbers.
Said no to him. Double-digit numbers. I'm gonna go back one more year. What year did Phil Housley coach the Sabres? Phil Housley.
I think you said he was till 19, coach. Right? 17 and 19.
Because maybe that's what tripped me up. I'm not looking at the right years.
Because Housley was never his coach, I don't think.
So 17 to 18, 19.
Never his coach, nope.
So it's 1920 or 20. So it's 1920 or 2021. Those are the 2 years it can be. Because he wasn't a Bilesma's coach either, right?
That's right.
You said? Yep. Said no Bilesma. So it's 1920 or 2021. What am I missing here? People are listening to this and probably going nuts right now.
I don't know if they are, especially if they don't have their computer in front of them.
It's okay. It's not Bogosian. He still plays. Can't be him. Said no to him. Okay, go to the next year. Did this player play in? Okay, duh. Did this player play in the 2021 season? Was he on the Sabres?
Yes.
Okay, I've narrowed it down to the team.
Okay.
So let's just go from the top here. Will Borgen's still in the league. Bryson's still in the league. Oh, no. Did the guy wear? Is his double-digit number the same number?
It is.
Brandon Davidson.
You got it. So I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why I picked this one. Hang on. I gotta tell you why I picked this one. There's this guy at work, right? And he is telling me that his buddy of his, right, has like the most obscure like hockey fights cancer night jersey of all time, right? And he can't recall the guy's name. He goes, it's a number in the 80s, and he's definitely a drought era guy, right? And I'm like, Corey Conacher. I'm like rattling off names, and he's like, no, it's like Brandon something. And I'm like, what? And I could not, for the life of me, come up with Brandon Davidson. Like even when he texts his buddy, he's like, what's the number? And he said 88. I'm like, what Sabre wore 88 except for Conacher? Like, it was the only one coming to mind. And I end up like Googling it, right? Because I said fuck this. And
he was 89.
Who, Conacher?
Yep.
Oh, I thought he was 88. Conacher
I thought he was 89, right?
You wore Mogilny's number? No, I think Conacher was 88. I don't know. Now I gotta look.
I'm gonna look right now. But go ahead, continue your story.
But yeah, and I couldn't. Chad, you could have paid me $1 million.
89 where he played, I think. Yeah.
No, he's 88. I'm looking at him on the Sabres.
Oh no, it was 88 on the Sabres. You're right. Yep. Everywhere else was 89. Sabres 88. Yeah, I think you're right. Yep.
But I'm like, who the hell else were 88? Like I could not pull it. And then eventually I look, I'm like, oh my god, Brandon Davidson. Like I just forgot he existed. And I don't think that. I think every other drought era guy you name, I would be like, yeah, for sure, remember him, right? Brandon Davidson, if you would have like gun in my head, been like, did he play for the Sabres ever? I'd have been like, gosh, maybe. Like, I don't think so. I probably would have landed on no. I have zero recollection of him existing. Like, I remember Bergdorfer. I remember like goofballs like that. I have no recollection of him at all. It's great. It was so funny the other day too, and I don't know why.
Me neither. That's why I couldn't even get there.
I don't know why this happened to me. I had this like weird like brain fart where I was positive Andre Sekera came back to the Sabres at one point. Just like driving, I was thinking about this. I thought he came back the same year Pezic came back.
No, I don't.
And that never happened. And I don't know why my brain invented that like they came back together, because they for sure didn't. But yeah, it took me a solid 5 minutes of thinking. I'm like, no, he came back with Mark Pezic. I remember. And then I'm like, wait a minute though. I can't picture him in a Sabres jersey that wasn't like old. Like I can't picture him in Royal. Like, no, maybe not then. You know what I mean? It's just funny how many names have come through here in that time. And but yeah. Gosh, Pezic.
Do you know that Brandon Davidson plays in the Czech league currently?
Does he? How nice. How nice for Brendan Davidson.
Plays for Kometa Brno in Czechia.
Hell yeah. Nice.
Brandon Davidson. Wow.
That's a pull.
6 games with the Sabres.
6 games.
That is a pull and a half.
Yeah.
Although actually he's injured. I don't think he hasn't played a game yet this season in Czechia.
Tough luck.
But he had 8 points in 44 games last year.
Nice. Go Brandon.
Oh, that was good. That was a good way to end it. That was a good way to bring that back.
Bring it all home.
Right there.
Yeah. For the P.
Bring it all home for sure. All right. Well, thank you very much, Anthony, for coming back again. You are, like I always tell you, the door is open whenever you want it. So you want to jump back in the playoffs after a game or whenever, you know where to find me. We'll get you back in here. We'll have some fun.
I'll definitely.
This is the longest episode we've done in a long time.
Nice. Glad to hear it.
Good. Looking forward to it. But nice few games off. We're off till Monday. Now we get to watch other teams squirm and suffer and see where we're at Monday, and maybe have another clinch day that we can get excited about. All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening, and we will talk to you soon. See ya.